much you train. Was that something that you desperately wanted to bring to Indian cricket? I remember playing against India when my first time I played against India was 2006. We toured India after that 2005 Ashes, and there was Tendulkar, Laxman, Dravid, Kumble, Harbhajan, Ajit Agarkar, Zahir Khan, Ashish Nehra. All these guys were playing. And I mean, you'd hit it to extra cover and you'd run 4. Yes, no problem. You just run 4. Whereas now, the team that you've got, you hit it to extra cover. You don't even think about running. Is that something that you've been so focused on and dedicated to bringing to Indian cricket, that strive to make sure that in the field, we're the best?
Look, I started playing in 2008. I saw 2009, 10, 11 is when we won the World Cup. When you played that shit shot and we drew the game in Bangalore. 11 is when I got you out stumped down the leg side without bowling a legitimate.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Just talk about you.
Okay. So I saw 2009, 10, 11. These were my regular years with India, and then 12. That England tour when we came to England in 2011.
Yeah.
We lost badly there.
Yeah, you did.
2012.
You got whacked.
2012 Australia tour was a difficult one as well. So I thought, there's always a natural transition that happens in every team. And I was lucky that I was in the center of that transition when it was happening. And I got the opportunity to see both sides of things, like what we were lacking as a side and what the world was catching up on, and they were becoming far more superior compared to us. So the plan was clear. I mean, when the next lot of players come in, this is the direction we're going to go in. And to be honest, I was lucky that I played with a group of players who were driven, similar age group, and together from number 7 or 8 in the world in Test cricket. For 3 years now, we've been number 1. So it's been quite an astonishing journey. It's quite unbelievable, to be honest, because we had no experience and we beat everyone, most places. We competed everywhere we went in the world, and it's just that to be able to come to the top of world cricket again has been a great journey. But then again, it gave us a vision, a goal to achieve, and all our focus was towards that.
And with the IPL, you see a lot of teams that come to India now, and they're a lot more competitive. I remember we came to India and actually beat India in 2011, 2012, and that's because a lot of us actually feel at home in India as foreigners. India have an issue traveling abroad. They have a real issue traveling abroad. What do you think the biggest issue for you guys is traveling abroad? I'm talking results.
Now, to be honest, before when we used to tour, it used to happen sporadically. Like we would come to England every 3 or 4 years, and in between there was nothing. But India, you guys would come every year for the IPL and get used to the conditions and so on and so forth. But now, when there's so much cricket happening, we don't feel any conditions are alien, to be honest. Now, I feel like traveling to other countries and playing at home is a level field. Anyone can beat anyone anywhere. Because we're playing each other so much in different conditions all the time. Australia, I remember we went to Australia for a whole tour, and then suddenly 3 weeks after that, they were in India playing ODIs against us. That would never happen before. So now it's not a question of whether we know the conditions or not. It's all about the mindset, the fatigue, whether you play too much cricket, whether you're ready mentally, physically or not. So I think those are the challenges now. Now we don't feel like any condition is sort of alien to us, and that I think is the most exciting part.
Do you feel like you play too much? I remember in my career, I was having huge arguments and disagreements with the ECB because of my schedule. And all I wanted the ECB to manage was my schedule, because I was playing every T20 game, every one-day international, every test match cricket. And I didn't want to miss out on the IPL, which is what guys don't miss out on now. Do you feel like you play too much cricket?
Look, I've been taking breaks. Honestly, I felt like last 2-3 seasons I was doing too much, so I started taking breaks every now and then, T20 matches here and there, maybe a ODI series here and there, because I didn't want to miss any Test cricket, to be honest. And T20 cricket in between, I just felt like there were too many games that had no relevance, and I've spoken about it in the press as well quite a few times that you just can't have matches where you have zero sort of motivation or energy, and I don't like to play like that. But I've just thought about it. I've been playing 3 formats for 9 years now, including the IPL, along with captaincy for 6 years. So it's not easy. It's not easy.
No,
But
no.
I'll see. I'll see. I said 3 years more. I think till the next World Cup. I'm gonna give it all and then figure out where I stand, which format, what not, all those questions later.
And obviously one of the biggest changes that you've made, and I know that, I mean, I campaign for wildlife all the time, and the thing that people hammer me the most about is eating meat. Now, you're vegetarian, you made that decision because, believe me, in 2009, 2010, when we hung out, you weren't a vegetarian. you're now,
No, no.
you're now a
vegetarian.
Now
I wasn't a vegetarian till 2018. When we actually came to England, I left eating meat just before the Test series started, and
Why?
I'd been thinking about it. I'll tell you the real reason. I mean, people use different kinds of reasons and they try and figure out themselves. So in 2018, when we went to South Africa, I got a cervical spine issue while playing a Test match
You got
at
what?
Centurion. A cervical spine issue. One of the discs in my cervical spine, they bulged out and it compressed a nerve which was running straight till the little finger of my right hand. So it gave me a tingling sensation. I could barely feel my little finger on the right hand.
Wow.
I couldn't sleep at night. Yeah, it was hurting like mad. I couldn't sleep at night. And then I got my test done, and my stomach was too acidic. So my body was creating too much uric acid. My body was too acidic. So what
Wow.
was happening was, even though I was taking calcium, magnesium, everything, one tablet was not sufficient for my body to function properly. So my stomach started pulling calcium from my bones, and my bones got weaker. And that's why I got this issue. So that's why I stopped eating meat completely in the middle of the England tour to cut down that uric acid and the acidity in my body. And then I've never felt better in my life, to be honest. I felt amazing. It's almost been 2 years now, and it's the best decision I've taken in my life.
Really? It's amazing. I mean,
It's
you look,
been unbelievable.
yeah, you look amazing. And I mean, I've tried that now. So I've seen all this and I watched that film, that Game Changers or whatever, that film.
Yeah,
I think you were part of that film. And I mean, I have vegetarian days. Jess and I have vegetarian days at home. And you do feel so light. You feel amazing, don't you?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, I've never felt better waking up. I've never felt better when I have to recover after a game. I mean, if you make me play 3 games a week, which are intense, I'm at it 120% every game. I can recover within a day after a test match and go on another test match. It's so much better than being on meat. Being vegetarian now made me feel, honestly, I felt like, why didn't I do it before? You know, I should have done it 3 years earlier, to
Yeah.
be honest. It's completely changed everything. You start feeling better, you start thinking better, your body's lighter, you're more positive, you have more energy to do more. So yes, overall, it's just been an amazing, amazing change. Are you guys doing it as well?
Thank goodness I don't have to play 3 games a week, because there's no way in this world a South African can go without meat, dude. I do it for maybe one day or 2 days a week. If I'm feeling really generous, I'll give it 2 days. But there's no ways. I just can't do it. I mean, I got a beautiful barbecue out here. I mean, as much as I would love to, as much as you're trying to sell a great story, it just. I mean, and I do feel great. And that movie, mate, that Game Changers film that I watched, it really does paint a really good picture. But I just couldn't do it, mate. Couldn't do it. No way.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
but you talk about that ability to be able to turn on every single day. I was running on a treadmill geez, I don't know where it was, and MS came and jumped on the treadmill next to me. And first of all, to see MS in the gym at that stage, I was like, oh, Jesus, what are you doing in here? And we started talking about you and started talking about your leadership. It was at the time that he was just starting to finish in that. And he said one of the things that he said that would interest him would be whether or not you would be able to maintain that energy on the field, that excitement on the field, that aggressive leadership on the field. And I said to him, I said, Jesus, I said, surely you cannot love cricket that much that you want to just start swinging punches every time you walk out onto the field. and you've done it. Why is it because of your diet, or is it because of what's in between your ears? Not that there's much there. What is it?
Yeah, there's a bit of crazy up here as well. I wouldn't deny
I
it.
know.
But look, as I said, I mean, I know, and you can ask MS that as well. When I played under MS, I was in his ears every over. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do that. If there was a time where you had to field on the boundary, I would run from long on to long on. I wanted to be in the right place at the right time. Even now, even if I'm captain or not, I don't think standing on the field I need to behave myself because I'm captain. I need to be able to enjoy the game first and think about
Yeah.
strategy and all that later because that is who I am. So I cannot play any other way. I will give
Yeah.
120% every ball.
Yeah.
And I made a promise to myself the day I stop feeling like I can do it, I'll stop playing. I want to be
Really?
able to play till the time I play the way I play right now
Oh,
with the same
Jesus. So,
intensity.
so,
Otherwise,
so
I will
we,
not.
so, so we're going to have to keep talking over the next few years about how you want us to jump in a UFC ring every time you up on a cricket field.
I just like
Yeah,
to
you
get it going.
I was going to swear a little bit, but I'll stop.
That's what my teammates and bowlers say as well. They say you celebrate more than us when we take a wicket.
I mean,
I
it's a
said I
good
can't
thing.
control myself.
It's a
Yeah,
good
it's a
thing.
good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah,
I
you
spoke to
need to
Rogan
enjoy
last
yourself.
week. I spoke to Rogan
Yeah.
last week, and we were talking about
Uh-huh.
sledging, and we were talking about aggression on the field. And he said, "Well, we do have a fairly aggressive leader." And I just started pissing myself. I was like, "Oh yes, yes, oh yes, just a very." I mean,
That
he's
helps. That
slightly
helps.
aggressive, huh?
Yeah, that surely helps. That surely helps. Anyone who's feeling a bit whether I should say something or not, they just need to look at me and say, "No problems, go for it."
But clearly you love the dudes off the field, and you just get into that. It's called white line fever, isn't it? Where you get over that white line, and I know there's
Yep.
millions of people who are going to watch this and are seeing this. You just have the white line fever where you will just do anything within the rules to win the game for India. It's simple.
Yep, absolutely. And it's look, I've known you for a lot of years now, and people say I've experienced something very strongly. When people don't know you, they have a very, very different picture of you that they paint in their heads. And I
Mm,
have no problems in people thinking that the person might be like this, but when you don't know the person, when you haven't interacted with the person, for someone to say that the guy is like that, I don't
yeah,
agree with that because
yeah,
you can't create a reality for someone else in your own head and then treat them accordingly. I
okay,
never do that.
yeah,
I would meet people. I would get to know you, even though I see your body language on the field and I feel like, oh, that doesn't seem really nice. But if you meet me outside the field and we got
mm,
along, I
yeah,
got along with Bouch. There were different views about Bouch as well. I got along with him amazingly well, with you as well. So it's about accepting people the way they are, and I think that's important. You
yeah,
step
yeah.
off the field and you accept people as just human beings. When your competitive spirit comes out, there's no problem in being competitive, being aggressive. You've had duels on the field. It never
Mm,
gets to physically punching someone in the face. I mean, it would never get to that. It's
maybe.
basically just yeah. Maybe with you it could have a few times, but not with me. Not with me. I'm too small. I can't take on the big guys physically. That helps.
Does the IPL and the friendships that you've created in the IPL make it a little bit more difficult to, when you're playing against Australia, to give a volley to a teammate in another opposition, or does it not matter? When you play for India, you're playing for India, and I don't care if you play for RCB with me, without me, whatever it is, I'm going to beat you, and that's it.
Um, Look, IPL has definitely made things much better when it comes to respecting people, especially when you get to know someone.
Yeah,
You don't feel internally. I mean, I played against AB. Never in my dreams will I think of sledging AB. It just won't come to me naturally.
yeah,
I would just say, okay, if an opportunity comes to me, I'm trying to take that opportunity with both my hands any day of the week. I want to get him out, but I wouldn't
yeah,
get into his face in a way that it can spoil our friendship, our relationship. Because you
exactly.
understand at the end of the day, those things last you longer in life. So whoever you get to know, obviously, it's a mutual respect. Both ways, the line is not crossed. But
Mm,
otherwise, we're always looking for something
yeah,
spicy to get into the zone eventually because you want to be at your best. And if
of
that's
course.
what gets you on, why not?
What's been your most fun innings? I'm not going to ask you what's been your best innings. What's been your most fun innings? Because I actually got asked this in an interview. a couple of months ago, I was doing something and they said, what's been your most fun innings? And I was like, shit, I've never been asked this before. It's always, what's your best innings? What had the most impact? What's been the most fun? The one where you just got, that was so much fun. It's just like, Jesus, I just got there and I just went bang, 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 bang. Do you have any?
Yeah,
It's a
I do
tough
have
question,
one.
isn't it?
Yeah, I do have one. It was against Kings 11 in the IPL. It was, I think, a 14 over game or 15 over game, and I got 112 overs.
I remember.
And yeah, so that was one of the days where I felt like, geez, I'm just connecting everything, and you just felt like you couldn't get out. And I've never felt like that before. Just to be able to hit every ball and not
Yeah.
have that fear of getting out, it was amazing. So that has been my most fun innings. What about you?
And talking, mate, it was such a
Tell
long
me
time
yours. Tell me
ago.
yours. Do
Huh?
you remember? I'm
No, it's
sure
too
you don't
long
remember
ago.
any of your innings after I got you out stumped.
You know, I was going to talk about your
Let's talk
bowling
about it.
there, but but the one before I get to your beautiful length that you used to bowl and that very traditional action.
Excellent.
What you talk about fear, and there'll be a lot of youngsters watching this, and people say, "Oh, play
Mm.
without fear. Don't worry about the
Mm.
consequences." For youngsters watching this, in your
Mm.
position, walking out to bat. Now, you're lucky. You've made it in the game. You're the best that's playing at the moment. Your numbers are fantastic. At the start of your career, or in the middle of your career, even now, what's been the lowest you've been? What's the lowest you've been in your career?
I think the lowest point in my career was the England tour in 2014, where that's